It's September 1st. I kind of been putting this off since March. Gonna be starting on this new project kind of for the internet, and I'm gonna film. It's this 240Z. Basically, this is gonna be heavy, but sit down. Over the last couple years, like since I started racing with my dad, we met this guy, Joel Anderson. He's from the Bay Area in California. Okay, so coming back, I kind of have my composure now. I met Joel like about 10 years ago. Became a really good family friend. I started the CorsaTec Precision Motorworks business with my dad. It was originally a rental race car company. And as we kind of started to legitimize the rental portion of it and protecting ourselves as a legitimate business, it just didn't make sense liability wise, and renting race cars is a really big pain. I will say everybody we rented race cars to ended up buying a car after renting from us and pretty much still race regionally with us, vintage wise. So we got to, be involved with other people's racing programs or whatever you want to call it, their experience. And I think we made a little bit of a difference there. Joel played a really big part of that. So as the business kind of grew, I took the business over from my dad. And I started doing more service work and servicing race cars. And so Joel and I started a motor service program where we had a motor program for people where it was a legal engine for the series. Pretty much every 240Z in Texas and the surrounding area runs a motor that Joel built. I raced a car for 2 years that was a true C production car with a built motor. Pretty much won everything that I ever entered with it. It was very competitive. If anybody I raced with is watching this, a lot of respect to everybody, but that car was like really fast and like super fun. And per the rules, was one of the only legal cars at the time, and just made a statement with it. It was a really awesome car. So kind of going on throughout the years, this used to be a rental car from the business. It used to be red. It was from Northern California. It's been a race car for a long time. We painted it white on Valentine's Day 5-6 years ago, and Joel was still wanting to race at the time when his health was going to permit, and so he kind of tinkered with it. And so throughout those years of building the business and kind of doing those motors, this was something we worked on together at the shop. So we painted the graphics in his shop, we did the motor, we did the trans, I did the diff, I did a lot of billet bushings for the back end of the thing when I was getting tooling and kind of learning how to do stuff. And we just did a lot of fun stuff. There's a lot of memories in this car. This is really tough to film this. Unfortunately, Joel has passed away, and I'd really like to get this thing running. So it's been sitting over here since March. So I have a lot of the parts to put it back together and get it running. So my goal is to facilitate getting it going and stick this thing back on the track and fly these colors and his name and stuff, and just made a really big difference in my career and my life and the stuff that I'm gonna do. It's a beautiful car. The color scheme is awesome. It's something that he designed back in the 70s when he had his CP car before the GTU IMSA car, that the black car you see a lot if you were to Google GTU IMSA 240Z. So this thing's got a 14-to-1 2.4 liter triple Mikuni carburetors, 50 millimeter. It's got a Girolami head from back in the day. It's got one of Girolami's cams that's port matched. It's got an ultra close Datsun comp, first gen style transmissions, pretty standard. Can't really run a dog box with the series I run in. I would like to, but I don't need it. It's got an R200 diff, limited slip. Pretty sure it's a 444 right now. It's just got a lot of little tricks and things we've done. It's got coilover conversion. It's got Coney adjustable shocks. It's got the right spring rates on it. It may be a little too low because it was sitting in the shop, wanted it to look cool, but I think it's gonna be a really good car. It's a series. It's kind of like a hybrid. I think the car's been clipped or something like that because it's a combination of two cars or something. They're old, but it's really light. It's got a really interesting cage. It's also very minimalistic, dangerous, but what isn't? So I'm gonna basically just vlog this whole car and this project. It means a lot to me, and I kind of been putting this stuff off because of the connection I have to it, and I really want to do it right. But I think there's some stuff that's changing in the series regionally here, and some people are coming back that I really like to race against, and this would be awesome to use this car for that. We have other vintage race cars and stuff, but I'll probably always be in a 240Z. It's what I started with. It's what Joel always ran, and I'm kind of known for the 240Zs in that world. And yeah, so basically that's my interlude. Hopefully that kind of explains some things, the breakdown of it all. But it's a really neat car, and I hope to get it back on track and whatever. So there it is, the 35 240Z. But yeah, this is the car. I haven't washed it or done anything since it's come back up to North Texas since March. But yeah, it's dirty. I'm gonna get it back to the shop and get it washed and get this thing loaded up and get the heck out of here. Some parts in there and stuff, some leftover stuff. But yeah, get this thing going and get it on down the way, man. Hope to yeah, do some stuff with it. So all kind of parts in here. That seat's gonna go away. We're not running that. We're gonna run some old seat. But yeah, 35 would be cool. All right, well, that pretty much does it for over here at this shop. I got this thing loaded up. I'll have plenty more stories about Joel and kind of what he was doing and where he's from and why and how and when. It's just gonna be tough. Talking about it probably the first little bit, but it's stuff that needs shared, and it's a damn shame that like technology wasn't as good as it is now, where guys like this would be 10 times more popular than your like favorite like influencer, any one of these people. These guys were like the true like, they were the real guys. Everybody else, you're a total poser. This guy built all these cars by himself, built all his own motors, did all his own stuff, and I worked a day job and did all the stuff he needed to do without like the cameras, the cell phones, all that stuff, and he did it because he loved it. And he did it up until he couldn't do it anymore. So if that's something to say about cars and your interest in this stuff, like, that's a real guy right there. So catch you guys in the next one. I'm gonna really make an effort to like do like maybe like 10-12 minute videos, that way it's not like this massive undertaking, and explain as much as I can. Okay, it is hot. I want to get out of here. Catch you on the next one.